welcome back to Art Therapy with Jenn. Today I'm going to be working in my Dark Dystopian themed collage journal. And this is a series that I'm doing on my channel. In every video each week I'll be doing a different chapter or page in this story, exploring different characters, themes, the history, past and present of this world, and we'll find out a little more each week. Now in this video I'll be doing chapter 2. We had chapter 1 last week, which was our resistance in bloom. So I'm really curious to see what part of the story we'll find out about today. So I'm going to be starting my page by using magazine images and old calendar pages that I pulled from my stash. I went through them and I just set them all around my desk there and just pull from them as I see fit. And I'm still trying to fill out this journal, y'all. This is just chapter 2 and I'm not really sure where it's going yet. I'm along for the ride, but me and the journal, we're still getting acquainted at this point. Do y'all ever do that where you just have to kind of warm up to the journal, and after a while you kind of get confident and you know what should go in there? So we're still in that warming up phase. We're acquaintances, but we're going to be best friends very soon. And I found it interesting watching this back. So it seemed like I pulled a lot of industrial, almost cold metallic-y images, and I also pulled these feminine images. You know, we have the eggs and the flowers and some of these really feminine colors, so there was kind of a juxtaposition going on there that I find interesting. And again, we have that metallic theme that I talked about last week. Metal is going to play a huge part. I'm not quite sure yet, but I find it interesting that it seems to end up in each chapter. What do y'all think? What do y'all think? I'm very curious. So I'm just going to go around and just kind of rip and cut and just tear these images and layer them just however my eye says that it's okay to glue it down. I'm not that technical with it, and just kind of build up that base and that background for this chapter and the characters to come. I will tell you, I just put that image down of that concrete, cold, factory looking building, and that is going to be an integral part of this chapter. There's something going on with that factory, y'all, and it ain't good. I have the feeling that it just ain't good. So I'm going to place that final little strip there, and then let's take a close-up look at the background and the base for chapter 2. I love the contrast. I have the warm and the cool tones, and let's see, I'm going to go through my stash and pull out what characters are going to go on this background. So I chose these two girls. So the first one is, she's there with the blonde hair and the turtleneck, holding it up over her mouth and looking distressed. I have a feeling this girl, like, she definitely has a story, and I think she's been through a lot. It almost seems like maybe she spoke up about something or resisted something, and she's been punished for it. Maybe something having to do with her face where she's covering it up. I'm not sure, but definitely something bad happened, and I think it might have to do with the factory. And then we have this girl here, a close-up of her face, and she has these like plastic and metal devices either right by her face or on her face, and she's just staring ahead with this blank stare. Definitely very striking and very suspicious. And that's going to be the two characters for this chapter. So let's take a close look, a close-up look. I swear I can talk, y'all, some days, at how they fit on the page there. Sometimes my wires just get crossed. And now, one of my favorite parts in building this story, we're going to add the words. So I've gone through my stash and I've just pulled out a bunch of words and set them around. I'm going to pull from there and start gluing down. So at the upper left there, it says the real effects. And then I'm going to be gluing down tragic beauty. And that's going to be our girl with the devices there. The real effects of tragic beauty. And then for this next one, I kind of Frankenstein two word pieces together. So this first one was, I was thinking of a woman. And then we're going to be putting underneath that, inside the bunker. So there's a tragedy taking place and there's a woman inside the bunker. So definitely some things going on from the powers that be that might be pretty on the outside, but there's some definite sinister things going on behind the scenes. So at the upper right, we have it all begins with, and then I've Frankenstein another piece, a huge opportunity for the wealthy. So we got some opportunistic, wealthy people here. And then I put together a couple more words, and it says the factory. So it has to do with this factory here. Told y'all it's going to play a big part here. And then next, on the girl with the red tank top, I have damaged goods with a question mark. And then to end the words, I have will no longer be good here or there or anywhere. So we kind of have a little bit of a dark chapter in our world here. So definitely there's a wealthy class in this world that's doing some things that they should not be doing. And in my opinion, it's at the expense of these women here that are probably not so wealthy. And it has to do with this factory. So what's the factory doing? What do y'all think? And as we can see, not everybody makes it through the factory. When I think of like dystopia, I was looking at a bunch of the themes here as I was going through, and it's kind of like when you get people in power that can kind of oppress and run other people into the ground. And I hope that makes sense. I'm trying to explain myself. It makes sense in my head, but something happens between my head and my mouth where it comes out there. But you got to think, if people were given this absolute power and nobody was kept in check, what would they do? Looks like they might have tried to build a factory to create or change someone existing into exactly how they want them. Something to think about. And I'm just going around with pens and markers and anything I can find. I'm just outlining words and adding some texture, just some more visual interest to make those words pop out. But you got to think, what do people that would have all this power and all this money to the point where it sends society into a dystopia, and we can kind of use our creative license, and we can add things that are maybe more sci-fi centric or what have you, and we have this factory, and on the outside it just looks like a regular cold concrete factory, but inside the bunker there's a whole nother dark story to tell. And maybe people don't even know what's going on. I don't know. What do y'all think? What do y'all think? That's kind of what I'm getting from it. And I'm just going to go ahead and do a few more little highlights there. I'm highlighting around the girl in the red turtleneck. And then I'm just going to sign it. And then we'll take a close-up look at the finished page in chapter 2, which is the factory. And again, I want to thank y'all so much for joining me with this series. I hope y'all are enjoying it and look forward to chapter 3 next week as we explore this theme and in this world. And I'm curious to see where it goes, y'all. Again, thank you so much, and I will see y'all next week for chapter 3. Bye, guys.